So we start with a video. Yeah. So it's 5 minutes.
Nalanda is home to more than 25 monks from all over the world, living according to monastic tradition. We also have many lay students and volunteers who are sharing with a great number of cats, birds, and fish. We offer 2 full-time study programs, the master program led by Geshe Jampel and the basic program led by Geshe Gyaltsen. Both Geshes are Larampa Geshes from Losang Monastery in India. Within the last decade, these studies have matured and are now recognized as some of the leading programs in the West. Every year, several great masters visit our monastery to give teachings. We also offer retreat experience. In our workshop, we receive requests from practitioners worldwide for our tsatsa molds. We are fortunate to have Sonam Sherpa, one of the very best tanka and statue painters, who has completed many projects for Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Recently, Nalanda has been presented with a unique opportunity. A neighboring property has come onto the market. It would provide perfect space for retreats, allowing people to develop inner peace and compassion. The land itself has marvelous properties. It boasts a large mansion that can easily be converted into retreat accommodation. Glorious gardens with ancient blue cedar trees. And several spacious fields. It's extremely quiet and borders the river that it shares with Nalanda. These conditions render it a perfect addition to the monastery. Lama Zopa Rinpoche observed that the land would be perfect for meditation and retreat activities. When he visited the land, he blessed it and named it. It's to be called Maitreya Pure Land. He then made a substantial money offering for this project, so close to his heart. Naturally, we are now hoping for sponsors to help us achieve this vast vision. Your contribution to this project would be for peace, compassion, and a better world.
You can listen hours to Lama Zopa Rinpoche. So, yeah. So yeah, I think we will start a little bit to explain a little bit what about our monastery.
I think you need a mic for the...
Oh, you need a mic?
Yes, yes.
Sit down, it's better than the picture.
Who wants me again on the picture? I don't know. Okay. It's good. So, yeah. Maybe we start with the first one. Here's the goal of Nalanda. So Nalanda is established by Lama Yeshe, who was Lama Thubten Yeshe, who was the teacher of and one of the gurus of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. So he, we go too quick. We're on the end. You might have to go back, not forward, but go back. Yes, that was it. Yes.
Yes. No.
Oh.
Not too much sugar.
Just before?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so Lama Yeshe said, we are establishing Nalanda Monastery to produce many saints and scholars. That's why I call it Nalanda. Yeah, because there was very long ago, in the time of the Buddha, there was already a monastery started. Nalanda, it was a little village, not far from, within reach of Bodh Gaya, where the Buddha reached enlightenment. It was a village, and there they started at one point a monastery. And its height, its height, I think it was about 7 kilometers long and 3 kilometers broad. It was very, very long, much bigger nog than the current ruins. There's now only ruins, so there's still a lot of tourists go there. But in the history, there a lot of people from Tibet, from China, from Korea, from Vietnam, from Japan. They went to study there in the old Nalanda. There were 5 sciences, I heard. Like medicine, astronomy, and poesy, and Dharma was one of the 5. And to study there, they came from many countries, and also people had to be at that time really courageous. They had to really travel a lot, and needed good kind of health, and it was of course a kind of university, so people had to have a bit brains. So we can be just like the ancient Indian monastery Nalanda, which produced such great Indian pandits as Atisha, Naropa, and Shantideva. I really feel that our own monastery can produce such saints and pandits. I think so. I don't worry that the intellectual clarity of Buddha Dharma can't reach the Western world. Westerners can comprehend anything that Tibetans can. Yeah, in that time, some Tibetans were really skeptical to Lama Zopa Rinpoche to bring Dharma to the West, because Westerners had a kind of bad reputation, were kind of wild or not so well mannered, especially no manners. And also at that time the Dharma was very high developed. People studied for more than 20, 30, 40 years, and of course you got jewels, and they thought like our Westerners, they are very impatient, they want to make wars, and they are very much in the 8 worldly dharmas, and then we bring them Dharma. It's like giving the best cake to an animal or something. Yeah. Next. So this is a piece of France. I think the most southwest corner of France. I don't know if you know the map of Europe. So the biggest city there closer is Toulouse. So we are located in the Tarn district, 40 kilometers northeast of Toulouse. So between Toulouse and the Tarn district's capital, Albi. So so it has a very nice climate. It's quite comparable to California, I think. I don't know, maybe to North California, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, Spain is just a little bit warmer again, so that's in the south of France. So, yes, here a bit more close. You see that Nalanda is just east of Lavore, and then there's also Nunnery, also east of Lavore. It's 8 kilometers, I don't know, it's about 5 miles, I think. Deutsche Pamos, it's about 10-15 minutes by car. And there's the Institute Vajrayogini. Oh, this goes too quick. And there's Institute Vajrayogini. That's about 7 miles, 11 kilometers, 20 minutes drive. It's very big, Institute Vajrayogini. It's the Dharma center for the southwest of France. So every weekend there's about 100 people following Dharma there. So it's a mixed center. There are some monks and there's a few nuns and there's a few residents, maybe 15, 20. But it's mainly for the whole southwest of France to follow Dharma teachings. They have there also Discovering Buddhism. They have a basic program. So it's really, and they have many weekends and yeah. Anyway, the difference is a little bit that they are more Dharma center. We are a more specific monastery. We have full-time study programs. They have more around the weekends, although they also do retreats. So here and there we do some things. They do, we do as well. But we are kind of brothers, sisters. We borrow things from each other, and we invite big teachers together. So we cooperate a lot. It's a very nice energy working with each other as Dharma centers. Yeah. Yeah. So actually, the 1981 our monastery started, and it was bought by Institut Vajrayogini. There was Venerable Elisabeth Druquier. She's now director of Kala Chakra Center in Paris. She was at that time a nun, and she was director of Institut Vajrayogini. And they started themselves only since 2 years, and then they got a big fire. So they called Lama Yeshe and they said, "Oh, Lama Yeshe, our new center is in fire." And Lama Yeshe said, "Fantastic, auspicious." And they did not expect that. So so then they got money from the insurance, I think. And then Lama Yeshe said, "Don't repair the tower, but buy some property." Yes, yeah. And so Elizabeth was a lot in Paris, and there was a guy working at the office. His name was Jean, and he was a kind of manager, and he knew that the Institut Vajrayogini was looking for a property. So he went sometimes to the agencies who sell these houses, and then he saw Nalanda. So he called Elizabeth, "Please come. This nice property is on the market." So then they bought Nalanda, and. But later, this comes much later, in 2018. Around 2015, the same guy, Jean, he was married in the meantime. He had a daughter and a son, and then he was baker, and he was baker in Fiac, another village, not so far from us. And so then his bakery got in flames. He got money from the insurance. He got so much money that he thought I can give the house away. And so he went to Geshe Tengye, the first teacher of the institute. And he said, don't you need also something for the nuns, or do you want a retreat center? Then otherwise I can give you my property because I got money from insurance. I will live somewhere else now, So that's in 2015. So then they decided, we checked with Lamas Open, which now there's a nunnery. It was opened really last year. It's a Deutsche Pamo nunnery. So it's sometimes strange stories, isn't it? This John, he looks like a normal volunteer and then later a baker, But maybe, this kind of people are bodhisattvas. They are so active in helping monks in the first place, later nuns, And it's a very strange stories. It looks so by chance, But it's 34 years in between. Anyway, then 1983, the first teacher came there, Geshe Champa Tekshok. He had a very good reputation. He was already in England. And there were some obstacles. Then he came to France. And then with him already many monks and nuns. So many nuns who are now very famous, like Sangye Kadro, Tupten Children, who has now Sravasti Abbey. They all came around that time, and they lived in Vajrayogini, these nuns, and then they came for Nalanda to teachings. And also Nalanda got quite quickly already 10 to 20 monks. Venerable Steve was there in that time. Also in the 80s, Venerable Rene. So there's a whole category of monks and nuns who became later very famous, but they were really the kind of the trailblazers. They were really the first generation monks and nuns who got teachings. Geshe Champa Takshok, later he came also to Land of Medicine, Buddha, so he has been teacher there later. I think at the beginning 2000 until 2009 or something. And then, but in 93 he left for Sera. I think he became abbot in Sera, so then he left after 10 years. And also Nalanda collapsed completely, almost like at one point there were 3 or 4 monks left, so from a very flourishing monastery it went back to 3. So that was around 95, 96, 97, and then slowly 98, 90, 99 there came some new monks, and we got a new Geshe Losang Tendar. He is in the meantime he is our abbot. So he came for 8 years. He gave some teachings just in the morning, and it was a bit not very structural organized. So we had about 10-15 monks in between 2000 and 2008. I came there in 2002, so I'm there now 17 years. Then in 2008 we started our first basic program. So that was a big thing, because also we opened a second building at the same time. So in 2005 I became director. I asked Jean-François, who made the building, I said, when are you finished? And he said, what do you need? I said, the Gompa, some rooms, blah, blah, blah. And then he said, and I think in 2008 I can finish that. So, and then we prepared for 2 years that the would come as a structured program. Yeah, and then we got, in one point we had 20 rooms, and then with the new building we had suddenly 16 more rooms, so 36 rooms, and some with double beds, so then we could have 42 people. So then we started, and then Gyaltsen was one of the newcomers at that time. He entered the first basic program. It was a very exciting time, because the whole community doubled in beginning 2008. So then I think in 2013, it was 5 years, the basic program. So in 2013, we started a second basic program. And then also we started later in 2013, the first master program. So, and we got a new resident Geshe in 2014. So since then we have even 2 resident Geshes. So with 2 Tibetan teachers. It means also that we need a few more translators and so on. But anyway, the community slowly grows. In 2017 we had even the third basic program, because 2016 to 17 was finished. And then there came a new nunnery. So that's a little bit how our monastery slowly had some steps in history of building up community life, and slowly more people committed to stay for 10 years monk, for 15, 20 years monk now. So there's a few who are now 20 years monk, and there's more and more who have now at least 10 years monk. So that gives a lot of stability to community life, and also the number of activities we can organize. Very good. Anyway, I think here you start already or not with Nalanda Monastery Goluk tradition affiliated to the FPMT?
Yeah, maybe. Okay. So thank you, Tendar. And so as here, Nalanda Monastery is part of the Gelug tradition affiliated to FPMT. So we follow the guidance of His Holiness and Kyabje Lama Zopa Rinpoche. So Lama Zopa Rinpoche is our spiritual director, as in every FPMT center. So it's under his guidance that we came to America, actually. Also, actually all the important events of Nalanda come from Rinpoche. All the new buildings, all the new geshes, and now even this new project is always thanks to Lama Zopa Rinpoche. We try to follow him as much as we can, because just the experience show that it's the most beneficial things to do. So, and Lama Zopa Rinpoche himself is always following His Holiness. So like this, the lineage is really, really perfect. And I think Lama Zopa Rinpoche really have this capacity to adapt the Dharma for Westerners. Our program are not exactly the same like in India, even though we try to have the 5 texts, for example. But there's some differences. For example, he emphasizes a bit more meditation aspect, and more lamrim, for example, because I think Westerners they need a bit more this type of approach. So yes, I mean, yeah, L'Amazon Rocher is very special. So we can go to the next slide. So His Holiness visited the monastery 2 times. I think this was in the 90s, probably 92.
Oh, yeah, could be.
Here he was blessing the stupa at the entry of the monastery. Lama Zopa Rinpoche is next. So yeah, it's a great chance we have, great honor that His Holiness could visit, because of course since few years it's more difficult to have His Holiness going in one center, because when he comes somewhere you need to rent a very big place because thousands of people come. So yeah, it's always a great joy to remember that His Holiness came to Nalanda, even stayed there, also in Vajrayogini, and then he blessed the place. So it's always encouraging, inspiring.
And we are always also involved when His Holiness comes to France in a committee who organizes the teachings, even in Strasbourg or in Toulouse.
Yes.
Even if he doesn't come to a monastery, but we are one of the 5 or the 6, 7 centers who take care for the whole organization.
Yeah. In France, actually, it's a group of Tibetan Buddhists. Kagyu, there's Kagyu, Nyingma, maybe Sakya also. I'm not sure. Sakya.
Yes.
And then Gelupa, and then we organize together the events. And His Holiness, he liked this very much, because he liked the different tradition to work together, to be friends. So we had the chance to organize 2 times. I mean, to co-organizer.
He was bookkeeper.
Yeah, I was a bookkeeper. So you see, sometimes some job can lead to nice action. You know? I was not expecting that. So yeah, we can go to the next slide. Yes, so this is a bit connected to the purpose of FPMT in general, not only Nalanda, because I think the purpose of all FPMT centers and projects are the same. You know, His Holiness Lama Yeshe, they want to benefit sentient beings, and mainly to bring enlightenment. So this is based on bodhicitta. And so this was at the Senate, US Senate. I don't know if you know. His Holiness talked about. So you can click. There's just...
Can you play it? Is it uploadable?
You can play. It's a video. Very short. No?
No.
Okay, doesn't matter. Anyway, His Holiness, quoted this famous verse of Shantideva that he recites himself every day: as long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, may I too remain to dispel the suffering of sentient beings, of suffering sentient beings. So he said this at the Senate, US Senate, so it's quite something amazing.
My favorite prayer, daily I pray this. That gives me inner strength. So enthusiasm to serve sentient being, humanity on this one. As long as space remains, and as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain and help dispel the misery of the world. Thank you.
Anyway, we can go to the next slide. So this is Geshe Jampel and Geshe Gyaltsen, or two Larampa Geshe. So I guess you all know what is a Larampa Geshe, no? Larampa Geshe is the highest degree of Geshe in India. In the south of India, there's 3 great monasteries: Sera, Ganden, Drepung. This is the biggest monastery in the Gelug tradition. And then they study now for about 20 years. And then at the end, they get a kind of certificate. And then the best one of the Larampa Geshe. It's the highest. There's 4 degrees of Geshe, and this is the highest. So they are both Larampa Geshe. And it's really necessary in Nalanda because the studies are quite deep. And so you need really scholar Geshes. And so we are greatly fortunate to have 2 of them, living there. I mean, now our abbot Geshe Jampel have moved maybe 1 kilometer from the monastery, but still, he come to teach every day. So we have every day teaching the morning with Geshe Jampel for the master program, and the afternoon with Geshe Gyaltsen for the basic program. So we even if we would we would not be able to follow all the Geshe's teaching in Nalanda. That's the situation. So we can go to the next slide. So yes, what do we study? The basic program, master program. So it includes the 5 texts basically, but even more actually. When we talk about the 5 texts, is what is studied in the great monasteries, Sera, Granden, Drepung, and now even in many Kagyu, Sakya, Nyingma, they start in the what they call the Shedra to study also almost the same text. So there's the Madhyamika Vatara, that is about emptiness, Chandrakirti, and there's Pramanavartika. Now we study a part of it. It's about proving with logic why the Buddha is a refuge, basically. You know, like by understanding how he taught the Four Noble Truth, Ternas in the Four Noble Truth, how he's showing a path to liberation, and therefore how he's a special being, you know, by understanding. Also to prove by reason reincarnation. That's quite interesting topic. It's not so easy actually, and yeah, no, it's not easy. But of course now we have new approaches about reincarnation with many things to think, but still this logical approach can be very complementary. So there's also the ornament of clarization that presents the stages of the path to enlightenment, you know, a bit all the stages of evolution of a practitioner. So it really gives a very vast perspective of the path, you know, on many lives. And then so now we started the Vinaya course also. It's not part of the program, but we do now Vinaya. It's for the monks to study ethical behavior and so on. And then the Abhidharma Kosha of Vasubandhu, who is really like a kind of, how to say, a very precise description of everything basically. But the body, the mind, but the world, but karma is very, very, very precise. Vasubandhu was extremely intelligent. So anyway, we have these 5 texts and more, because in the basic program there's many, many texts. I know you do the basic program here, so you know the texts that are there. So we are very lucky. We really have a lot of texts, and then we studied, and after we have discussion group the afternoon, and then we have daily meditation, Lamri meditation to do, and there's exam, and then after the basic program you have the 3-month Lamrim retreat, and after the master program you have the 1-year Lamrim retreat, and in between you should do 3 times 1 month. So it's quite serious study program, you know, and it's a full-time program, so that means it's something we do every day. It's a majority of our time is dedicated to the program, basically. So it's a different way to study than in the great monasteries in India, but also sometimes I feel we might need also something a bit different way to learn, because, you know, of our background and so on. So anyway, we can go to the next topic. Yeah. So yeah, basic program 5 years. The master program, this one we did 7 years. Now officially it's 6 years, but we did a bit more because Geshe Jampel, he always want to teach more actually. You know, he always 2 years ornament, he didn't like this at all, you know. So then we did 3 years, and then Madhyamika, normally it's 1.5 years, we did 2 years, and then if we would not stop, probably the program would finish to be 10 years, you know. But I mean, of course, it's great. The more you study, the best. But of course, sometimes we cannot, because, you know, the people come for a certain number of years. So anyway, it ended up to be 7 years. But the official is 6 years. Yeah, this I already said, so we can go. So yeah, this is a picture of monks and nuns when Kandwala came last year. So yeah, this is one of the precious masters that visit us. Kandwala, she visited maybe 4 times now, and we hope she will come again next year. So yeah, we can go to the next slide. We also have lay, student, volunteer living with us. So we, I mean, as Tendar was talking, how we depend on kindness of others, and sometimes when you live in such a community, you really feel it even more, you know. I mean, of course, I'm director, so I have a bit more karma yoga than others, but I'm not the only one. Like Tendar, he work a lot, and many people work a lot. But the thing is that if they would not be here, I could not even study, basically. So basically, if you think about it, you know, each text we study is it's thanks to them, you know. So it's amazing, you know, and it's people who come for voluntarily. They are not, they are volunteers, and they give their time to cook, to make the cleaning, to help in the garden. And of course, everybody participates to some extent, you know. But we want to preserve the monk to be able to study.
And the students as well. Huh?
And of course the lay student also. Because we have also lay student, male and female, and then we have also nuns coming to our program. So it's open to everyone basically. So that's our monastery is quite open monastery. Some monastery would not accept it, but everybody can come. So even though the woman cannot sleep in Nalanda, they can come to study as much as they want. And then there's other options, now especially with Dorje Parmo, the nunnery that is not far. It gives more possibility for women to come to stay there. It's only 8 kilometers, so it's possible to arrange. So anyway, we can go to the next slide. So that's a picture of the present Nalanda Monastery. So we have 3 buildings now. So in the middle, the old building in 1981. That is what was bought at that time when Elizabeth was director of Ajwagini. Then on the right side is the public building that Tendar talked, that Jean-François, next monk and director of Nalanda, consecrated 8 years to build it, but also 12 years, I mean, in total with the preparation, and he really dedicated a big part of his life to the building of his, so built by volunteers and monks, so that's quite amazing and very ecological also. And then on the left, the new monk building was finished in 2016. So this was done by professional, because at that time the study program was quite going on, so to not interrupt it, we decided to do differently. So now we have grown a lot, and we are almost full already now. So we can go to the next slide where you see the picture of the old building. Then the next one is the public building, so finished in 2008. So it's a mixture of Asian style and Western style. That was the idea, a mixture. And with ecological material. Then the new building, very ecological, made in wood, cedar wood.
From our own terrain.
Yes. Because to make this building, unfortunately, we have to cut some trees. So some Kandrila made some ceremony, in case to not disturb if the spirits or whatever. And then with the wood was used to build here. So this is direct recycled. And it's just rooms for monk. And on the bottom, some lay student can be there also. So we can go to the next slide. And this is retreat huts. We have 2 retreat huts in our garden. So one, our teacher assistant of the master program, Jake Fisher, is living in one of his retreat huts, because when we invited him to be the teacher assistant of the master program, because Lama Tsopanche said it would be good to ask him, he was in retreat, so it was a bit delicate to ask him this, but I had to do what else I could do, First of all, we need, and second, Lama Tsopanche said so I feel a bit protected somehow, so I sent the email. I forward you the email of Rinpoche, read this, and so it was a bit disturbing for him, but I told him, okay, take your time, and we have a retreat hut if you want, like this. During our break, you can do retreat and so on. So then he lives in one of the retreat huts, and there's another one where people come to the retreat. But so initially there was a master, because when we finished the public building in 2008, Lama Tsopanche came 1 year after, of course. And then personally I was the bookkeeper. I was thinking, okay, now it's gonna be peaceful. We have finished the building. Now we concentrate on study, meditation. No, it's done. And he said, oh, that's very good. We need a place for 100 more people. And so then they started at the time of Tendar a master plan, and the master plan with retreat hut and building and things like that. So the first new building I showed was the first part. It was for 23 people. So we still need for more than 70 people, theoretically, and a big gompa and so on. But the land is not so big at the same time. So it doesn't sound perfect. But of course, now a new property come. So we can go to the next slide. So that's Bodhicitta Land also. So it's in the Pyrenees, in the mountain. We have a retreat hut that someone offer the money to buy it, and it was Bertrand. And now this Geshe Lozel, one of the rare Geshe, Westerner Geshe, who studied in a dialectic school near Dharamsala, now is living there most of the time during retreat. And that's very isolated place. There's just few solar panels for the electricity and so on. So
and the mountains there is Spain already, so it's really on the border. France, Spain,
and then if you want to go to buy some bread, you have to walk for 45 minutes, but very difficult coming back. So you really think twice to buy a baguette. You know? So we can go to the next slide. So that's the main gompa of the public building. You know? So there's Fazen Buddha behind, made by Nalanda workshop, and then the big statue painted by one of our best artists, Sonam. So we can go to the next slide. And the workshop where we do tsatsas.
People all over the world order molds from us. We are very famous for the molds.
Yes. Can go to the next because I see the time is going.
Running.
Community life. Okay, we do this is a demonstration for Tibet. This is open day. People come. Even children, they like to paint tsatsa. We organize for them and we have cakes and everything. So those days, sometimes we have 400 people visiting, and there's a bit of talk, and it's very nice. I mean, Nalanda is not so much open for public because we don't have anything for the public. It's full-time study program. But when we open it for public, suddenly 300, 400 people come. I mean, it's very surprising, each time. And not the same each year. So that means on a number of years, that's make quite some thousands of people who pass to Nalanda.
And we have also inter-religious day, or inter-Buddhist day. But all the Buddhist groups come to the monastery once a year. So we have a few of these kind of things which are a bit specific. But then we get 150.
We do inter-Sangha days where Kagyu, Nyingma, Thai, Viet, Zen come together and we do different activity. There's this year was about ecology. Year before was about compassion. So always something. So it's very nice to get closer, and it really works,
But we have very often groups, and then from the tourist office they come with a big group, and then there's in Toulouse a women group. I don't know, they come suddenly with a bus. They rent a bus, and then
60 people come.
And then.
In the area, the mairie and so on, we have very good relationship because they find we are not making problem. We don't try to convert people. We are nice when people see us. So they like us, and but
also people from the fire
we make
brigade.
their place a bit more famous. Also. We are very international community now. We are about 30 monks, and only, I think, 2 are native from France only. So even one from America, but from South America, I think one. Mexico, but all over Europe, Australia. Anyways, we have many nationalities.
Yeah, including all the students. I think 23 nationalities about.
So it's really international place. So that's why also I think it can be a great source of benefit for the FPMT in general, because there's people coming from all over the place, who get good formation, good practice, good study, and then after they can benefit in many places. That's, I can go to the next. So financially, how do we do is that, I mean, basically we have 3 main sources of revenue. We have the monks pay. I mean, most of us, we pay 200 euro a month. the one who cannot, sometimes they are sponsored by the IMI, whose director is Venerable Tendar. And then
I think you also pay $200 each year, I think, to the IMI. Yeah? So, so we sponsor here and there monks, but special Nalanda monks, but also here in America a few, and also in Australia a few, and yeah. All monks and nuns from all over the world can be members. So they also here, all these monks and nuns here around, they are member. It's free membership, and we take care of mainly for the more poor monks and nuns, and those who have weak health. And we take care in general for education, that people can go to education. We sponsor every year a pre-ordination course in Dharamsala around His Holiness, this kind of thing. Anyway, it's not about the IMI, but just to give you a big background information.
So yeah, so there's the monks, and then there's the lay people, of course, they're in Nalanda, so they pay for. We try really to have reasonable price, because we know that people, they cannot work at the same time they do the program, so we try to do as low as possible, but we also need, unfortunately, also in France there's taxes and things like that, even for monasteries, so they can be quite high. So we have also lay people paying for their room and food, and also a participation for the program, and we do sometimes retreat where people. So I always try to think that they pay for the lodging and the food, not for the dharma, and for the program is for participation for the cost. So anyway, that's just not feel we sell the dharma. It's very important. And so yeah, the lay people and donation. So we have a friend of Nalanda, who some people who give €10 a month, some 20 or more, and some punctual donator. So we depend like for at least 1/3 on donation. You know, at some point when Tendar was director, I was bookkeeper. At that time, finance was sometimes more difficult somehow, because we were still in process of growing and so on, and it takes time sometimes to equilibrate things. And in winter, sometimes it was so difficult, you know. I thought we would never pay the bill of the heating and so on. I was really stressed.
In December, I had to call a few rich persons, like, oh, cannot, we have €10,000 this year short.
No, most of the time, the money was coming, we didn't know from where. You know, it just, so it was like this, and it was very insecure and situation. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, we need to become more autonomous, independent, and so on. It cannot be like that, because we depend on few people who give a lot of money, but then if they stop, then how we do, you know? And then after I remember, but how it was at the time of the Buddha, you know? They are going with a begging bowl, so they were depending on others, you know? And that's the purpose of being monk, so you depend on others. And then, if I'm afraid that things change and that it collapses, you know, but actually it's the reality of everyone. A company, you know, if a big customer go to someone else, he might stop from one to the. So that's impermanence. That's what it means to depend on cause and condition. Depend on cause and condition, therefore it's impermanent. When the condition changes, stop. Mm. And when I thought it was the nature of things, then I relaxed a bit. But then after of course, so yeah, now I accept more easily that we depend on donations, and that it doesn't sound very secure, but nothing is secure in life, so that's normal. We have to accept, you know, there's no controller of things.
Maybe we have to move on to the to the real new project.
So in the FPMT we are good with knowing. So yeah, that's can you? So that's the quotation of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Not the previous one, please. Yeah. So in the FPMT we are good with knowing the words. For the Dharma to spread properly, we need to go into the experience. So that's for me exactly the purpose of this new land. You know, now we have good study program. So now we need to continue this study program, even to develop the study part, and then but still we need to integrate all this into our experience through the Lamrim mainly, by practicing meditation and so on. So in order to fulfill that, I think this new project is exactly coming into that context. So we can go to the next slide. So that's the new land. That's the main building. So this one we can already live in it. It's livable. It's very well maintained. You know, almost everything is double glazed window, just a part not. And there's still some adaptation to do for a community, because the room, of course, are not adapted for monks. You know, it's like a 30 square meter room. We don't want 30 square meter room for monks. It doesn't make sense. You can do maybe 2-3 rooms with that. So there will be some work to do, but still it's livable already. It's livable. So that means if we get a property, already someone can go there to move and to start retreat, and also lay practitioner. So probably mainly male, even if all the rule has not been thought about, because it's a monastery, but usually we do also organize retreats. So in that case, also women are welcome. So for the next slide. So that's the view from above. So you see, so that's the main building we just saw. Yeah, I cannot do that now. So that's the main building we just saw, and that's the second building. So that is also quite big, but yes, it has to be renovated completely inside. It was like a farm inside, or you know, a cave. So it's not really livable. Just a part that is like 70 square meters, so you can do something there, but it's not very good state. But this is livable, and then the land go from here. Here. So it's very big, you know. So 5 hectares and a half. So I think in American we say 13 and 86 acres. Acres. So it's bigger than the present Nalanda, and it's perfect for retreat because it's isolated. It's a very calm place. So you see the people would do retreat and they have really space to contemplate and so on. And then there's a potential to grow, you know, to make new retreat hut and so on. So that's really a perfect place for, and it's 350 meters from Nalanda only. So that means it's become one place in a way. So we can go to the next slide. So yeah, research and gathering information, you know, like for example, you go to Wikipedia or you ask to Alexia to answer your question, and then you get the information. So you can get many information. That's good. And also with Dharma, you can get many information. But then the goal of all of this is to transform the mind, no? So the basis of mind transformation is study. So there's the study, that is the first step. And then one contemplate and gain intellectual certainty in the topic. So means you get first-hand information. Then you think about it by yourself, analyze by logic, your experience and so on. And then you came to your own conclusion. So that's a bit stronger. That's contemplation. And then one meditates on what you have understood. Means you familiarize your mind with that. So that's meditation, you know. So this you can do in daily life, but you can also do in retreat. And if you do in retreat, the advantage is that you are more focused, more concentrated. You know, it's more easy to concentrate. Of course, ideally, we should meditate all the time, everywhere, and we should try to do that. But to have period of retreat can help to become more skillful in that, and then it's more easy also to increase in daily life. So yeah, we can go to the next slide. So in Maitreya Pure Land, so that because Lama Rinpoche came and he visited the land and then he already blessed it actually. Well, it's not our land, you know. The day he blessed the land, we didn't have even €1 to buy the land, you know. And then he gave it and then after he said, yeah, I entered the land and I thought immediately the name Maitreya Pure Land came to my mind. So you have already many visions about the place, you know. It's amazing. So of course, for us, it's more encouraging also to go forward because you feel okay. For Rinpoche, it's like it's gonna be yours, you know. So we have to work for it now. So yeah, it will offer to integrate the topic in a retreat environment, because you can create specific rule for retreat that are a bit different that rule in a study place, a bit different, context. Maybe they can be more silence the morning. I don't know. This need to be investigated, but to create an atmosphere of retreat, and then also if some lay people after come to like maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month retreat, then they can be guided by the monks who are doing more long-term retreats. So then they can be guided by more experienced people also. So we can go to the next slide. So yeah, to maintain Maitreya Pure Land, basically the fixed expenses, roughly, the taxes and eating are quite less high than in the present Nalanda, and we calculate about $1,500 for the fix. Of course, there's many other costs, of electricity, water, but this is proportional of the number of people living there, so it is automatically, matching. If you will have 2 full-time retreat and paying for the year, it will cover those costs basically. Or if you do group retreats also, sometime with group retreat you could cover easily. So why we talk about this, to say that it is sustainable. Once we have it, we can take care of it. It's not impossible. So we can go to the next. Yeah, so that's Lama Yeshe. So we already have some 50 monks and 50 nuns, so it was in 1992. So we should definitely have a broader vision. In the future, we're going to have many more. Both the monks and nuns community are going to grow by thousands, millions. Next slide. Nalanda Monastery in France is only the beginning. Not everybody wants to go to France. For one thing, the language is too much. So, in the future, we're going to have Nalanda Monastery in each European country, in Australia, in all Western countries, but also in America. So next.
Yeah, so maybe that's why we are here. We come here to fundraise, but anyway, with the other hand, we try to see what are the possibilities here in the United States.
So it will happen.
Nalanda, United States, sorry.
So it will happen for the power of Buddha Dharma, not just because I wish it. I just let go. Don't think Lama Yeshe want 1 million monks and nuns would want all that trouble. So that's a beautiful place to stop. So the next slide. Yeah, but think about why you become monks and nuns. It's interesting. Then you can see, in the future, many others will want to do it. Therefore, we should dedicate ourselves to creating better facilities for them. So the next slide. Do you have a question? Sorry, it's a bit late, 10 to 9, so...
I just have a question. What language are the classes conducted in?
So the main language is English, actually. Because, of course, the Geshes speak in Tibetan, but the first translator on the speaker is English. Then the second language is French and sometimes Spanish. But this year, this program, we didn't do Spanish, but usually we did, because we just didn't have a Spanish translator and not so many Spanish wanted to do the program that time. But in the future, we might do it again in Spanish. But yeah, because we are an international place, even when you go to the dining room, everybody speaks English all the time. I mean, a type of English, let's say.
So I'm assuming you'll show us next, but if we want to donate, or people online on Facebook want to donate or that kind of thing, do we just go to Nalanda's website, or is there a specific...
Yes, in Nalanda website. Here we have the brochure. So in the brochure behind you have, in the brochure you have the website of the Maitreya Pure Land project, and here at the bottom you have PayPal possibility. Then you have also by transfer is possible, and behind the brochure there is also the bank detail. Yeah,
great, thank you.
We have also more photos on the website and different explanation. Also, if you go in the main Nalanda Monastery website, you have a banner, Maitreya Pure Land. You click and you go directly to the Maitreya Pure Land. And it's easy to find Nalanda website. You just put Nalanda Monastery France. It's one of the first things that come.
For your, thank you both, by the way. So for your retreats for this property, if you wanted to do like a year retreat,
Yeah.
the cost, is there like a long waiting list, or how do you go about doing a retreat there, and what is the cost per
For the time
year?
being, the place doesn't exist, so there's no one asking. But also, there's not so many people who want to do 1 year retreat. Honestly, not so many, but there is some. But shorter retreat more. But of course, in Nalanda, among the monks, probably some would like to do at one point. We hope so, actually. They study well, then they meditate well. Then also, one of the ideas is to have more qualified Western teacher for the West, who have good study and meditation, good integration. And so, yeah, there will be a form to fill, of course. We have to go more in the detail of the rules. For the timing, it's not done yet. But who can go there? We have to take care also, because 1 year retreat, you have to be sure the person is able to. So I think probably we would ask that he has the approval of one of his lamas, and to know a bit his background, also psychological background and so on, because you can have difficulty in such a retreat. But of course there will be people living there to help in case of. So yeah, people should apply, and then after. I think at the beginning there will be at least place for 10 people, quite quick and slowly more. So I don't think it will be full so easily. I mean, for group retreat, yes. But group retreat we can use both places, so it's okay for the room.
That's mostly in the summer, July, August. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So everyone can take a brochure there at least. Yeah. So I just want more question there.
Kim?
Thank you. And my question is, how close are you to your goal of raising the fund needed?
Yeah. So for the time being, we have raised 750,000 euros. So that's quite amazing, actually. I mean, since June we started, so. Honestly, it was very surprising for us to have so much support. There's anonymous sponsors, and Rinpoche starts with $100,000. Sorry, I'm talking in euro, but the goal is to reach 1,200,000 euros. That corresponds to is written in the brochure, $1,380,000, I think. And yeah, I mean, of course, some of the people who already gave might give a lot again, and we hope to find more sponsors slowly. So it's feasible. It's feasible. We have raised more than half, so that means it's possible. So I think it's good to see that, because that means also any help can make a difference, because we're getting closer. So on the website you can see also there's written how much we have raised, how much is to be raised, and I think it's in euro, in dollar. And there's a little, bar. You see that we have raised 60-something%, and then so you give an idea. And yeah, we hope to manage, because the neighbor would like to sell, but of course, if we don't have the money this year, it's not that if he put it on the market, he's gonna necessarily sell it so easily, because it's not that everyone is searching this type of property. So, but of course we never know. So, but he want to sell it to us because it's a 200 years old house, family house, and for him emotionally is very important. He's someone who preach in a church, so he's a man of faith.
Very Catholic.
Yeah, very Catholic. But he's very friendly with us. He likes us very much, and he really would like us to have it, because he see how we deal with our property and so on. And we have very good relationship since we started to talk about it, full of respect, and we try to find something like reasonable for both parties, basically. And now we get closer to the final price, but. Yeah. But thank you again to have invited us. Really, it's really, really kind, and we are very happy to have this opportunity.
Is it possible to make a
share.
photo with, because many are for you board members, just as a concluding photo?
Yeah,